Hello, welcome to Into the Anime Abyss. I am your host for today in 10 Vent, but you can just call me Vent. And with
I'm
me,
Kaz.
I have Kaz, who cannot wait his turn to be introduced, and I've got Faden.
Hello.
We are three guys who love anime, and we thought that we'd be able to share some of that with everyone else. So, with that, take it away, Faye. How did you get into anime in the first place?
I got into it by someone dragging me to my anime society and making me watch it, and then I was just kind of made get into it, and then just I think it was almost Stockholm syndrome. Just started to watch it after that.
You're filled with yolk now.
You'll never be allowed to escape.
Never ever. And now I'm doing a podcast, so you know that it's stuck now.
Yeah, you've fallen too deep.
Yeah, way too much.
How many Dakimakuras do you have?
None. Unlike Kaz, probably.
I can't afford it yet.
Okay, Kaz, would you like to do it?
Yeah, sure. Right, okay. I've been a weeb for like a decade now. I'm the elder. I'm your elders.
The old man.
I'm the oldest man. I think I started getting into anime because a good friend of mine, who's still a good friend now, went up to me and was like, hey, Kaz, you're a pretty smart guy. You should watch anime because you're smart. And it just spiraled into horrible, terrible since then. I've got pretty varied taste. I'll try basically anything that's good. I play weeb games, I read light novels, I read visual novels, I play a bunch of different types of games, and I watch like most genres of anime. I'm the king weeb.
Nice. I gotta say though, getting you into anime because you seem smart does sound like a pretty elitist thing. Like, do you know what your friend's favorite anime was?
I think it was Death Note, and also we were like a Yevon.
Okay.
It sounds like someone trying to justify them watching Rick and Morty. I'm so intelligent that I just
He doesn't even watch anime anymore. He got
He has ascended.
He got like an intervention. I'm still like full of 10 needles.
People cared about him enough to make him stop. We didn't have that luxury.
I had like a pillow for it made out of like Dakimakuras, so they can't get to me.
And me, I've been a weeb for how long? 7 years. I got into it when my friend introduced me to, and I watched all of it. I watched a good few arcs of it in about a month. And after that month ended, I went back to my friend and they're like, "Oh yeah, this was so cool, wasn't it?" And I learned that she had stopped watching it about 3 weeks beforehand. So no one to talk about it with.
I watched all of Fairy Tail as well. I actually kept on going with it as well. It was like my second anime, I think, after Death Note. I think it was like the.
Oh, it was my first.
It's really bad.
It's more sort of cartoon than anime. That's not right. It's very power fantasy. It reminds me of those Trapped in Another World with My Smartphone kind of shows, where you just get enough power for what you need.
As someone who hasn't watched it gives that vibe.
Like, it's not a bad show. The characters are good, but the thing people find annoying is that he only gets the power boost to beat the main big bad, and then after he's bet him, he's like back to his normal self.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like power never stays in Fairy Tail. Like, they're literally, I think they've done a spin-off now of it as well, and they're just like they were so powerful at the end of it, and now they're just back to being shit. Or sorry, bad.
Faith, you watched all of Fairy Tail. Do you remember the scene where Natsu came back into the arena and he utterly melted it?
Yeah.
That was such a cool scene, and he had such a cool haircut, and then he just cut it, and his power went down just like his hair.
Is he fucking Samson from the Bible?
He is a Super Saiyan.
Yeah, he melted everyone's clothes off. He melted the whole arena. It was the worst. And then he's just like, oh, I'm just like not like the rest of that season. He was just the same old Natsu who just had no power really at all,
Oh.
except for like one power up he had, and like that was it.
But no, I think it's a good introductory series for people who haven't watched. Because it doesn't take itself too seriously.
But you also got the only eyeballs of like Death Note and Full Metal Alchemist. Those always
True.
work. Those are my first.
Oh yeah, FMA. Oh yeah, that's so good. I've rewatched it so many times.
I still haven't seen Brotherhood. I've watched the original once.
Yeah, same.
Seriously? Oh
Yeah. I just I know that like 3/4 of the plot is like the same between Full Metal Alchemist and Brotherhood. And I just can't find
case.
it's the same plot up to a point.
Yeah.
I just can't be bothered to rewatch it, but I feel like I need to rewatch it because I've done so much of it. And,
no, Vent. You know the end of Misfit, the like electricity, like the red electricity that comes at the end of it.
yes.
That reminds me so much of like FMA because at the opening it's just you going through all the wires in like through the whole country or whatever. I just like see that. I'm just like, oh, is this FMA? It's just like reminds me so much of it.
Maybe I'll watch it.
You really should.
I definitely will at some point. I just haven't gotten around to it.
That is what every weeb says about every show.
Yeah, kind of like
It's I have piles.
kind of like Assassination Classroom, Kaz.
You will watch it.
I should clarify that because no one watching this would know. I have like 3 big physical piles of games I haven't played yet because I have problems.
Look, you must prioritize. Are you a gamer first or are you a weeb first?
I'm a weeb gamer. I'm a hybrid, and they're mostly weeb games.
Oh god. Anyway, should we get on to the anime that we're going to talk about?
We should, yeah. We've been rambling. Okay, so the point of this podcast, we all watch seasonal anime, as I'm sure many of you listening do, and some of our favorites we all watch together. So we thought that we'd talk about them and see what we like and what we don't.
Mm.
So the shows that we'll be watching or we'll be talking during this episode will be the latest episode of ReZero, the latest episode of Snafu, the 3rd season, Origairu. We have God of High School, which 2 of us like and 1 of us is not so keen on.
It's okay.
And we have what's her name? Uzumaki.
Boy, that guy.
Oh, yeah. And
Where'd I get Uzumaki out of?
Because that's a horror manga.
oh god.
Okay.
It's good.
Okay, so let's start with the start. So we said we would begin with Snafu, didn't we?
Yes. Okay. You watched it all through in one go. What is your opinion?
Yeah, you watched it in like 2 days.
I did, yes. I watched all of Snafu for the purposes. So what did I think? Okay, so I thought it was. It's a very interesting show. I like it. The characters are acting like they act like they're smart, but they act like they're smart in a believable way that like a teenager would think that they're smart.
Yeah, they're really believable as teenagers. They really feel like a dumb teenager in the ways that are appropriate.
Yeah, they feel like people actually instead of just anime.
Earl.
Just tropes.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously we have our main character, Hachiman, who I wasn't that big of a fan of. The main man, Hachiman.
My dude.
He's a lover of all men, but one man in particular. But yeah, I didn't really like him that much at the start. I thought he was fine, but as I grew to understand his way of helping, I grew to like him more and more. I normally don't like characters that are down on their luck, or like not down on their luck, but who
are bare cynical.
Sort of, yeah. Who are cynical, who don't try to change, who feel sorry for themselves, basically, who indulge in like a lot of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. But he's not like that. He doesn't have.
He really is.
He does have self-pity, I guess, but he's more proud of his pity, I guess.
Of his failings.
It's more like self-hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he like gets on with it anyway, and then just tries to
Yeah.
help in his awkward, kind of assholey way.
Terrible. Which he's like eventually develops here, and I shouldn't do this. This is kind of terrible to do.
But does it
Yeah.
anyway again.
Yeah.
Like, I understand where he's coming from on like, oh, this is something only I can do because only I think this.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
is an interesting character. He's an interesting character for sure. The next character that we're introduced to, except the teacher, but I want to come back around to the teacher. Let's focus on our main three for now.
Okay, teacher.
Yukinon, or Yukinoshita, which I just butchered the pronunciation of. So I'm just going to call her Yukinon from now on.
None of us are going to say Japanese well. That's how it be.
Baka. I speak perfect Japanese.
Never say that to me again.
Oh God. Yeah. So you didn't like her at first. You were saying kind of before.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yes, I wasn't that big of a fan of her. I thought Hachiman, when I first met him, I thought he was okay. I didn't love him. I didn't hate him. When I first met Yukinon, I just plain didn't like her because she was looking down on our main character, and though he is not the pinnacle of society or of manliness or anything like that by any means, he like.
Yeah.
I still felt bad for him being like looked down upon or like talked about when he was in the same room.
Vent, do you feel like you understand why she was like that now?
Not really. Like I
Really?
I understand that at the start of the show she was basically the character equivalent of a blank slate. She saw herself as an imitation of her sister, or she was always trying to live up to her sister.
To do it again, yeah.
The sister is a whole other bucket of worms. I honestly.
God.
I can go on about that sister.
Like me just constantly give out about that sister.
Yeah.
People either love her or hate her. What's your opinions on her?
I hate her. I hate
she's
her right
such
now.
an asshole. Like
Yeah.
she just doesn't need to be such an asshole. Like she's more of an asshole than Hachiman or any of them have been. She doesn't have to be so harsh with them. I guess she probably thinks.
Well, bits about her, yeah, her anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I don't like her either. But back on the topic of Yukinon, I wasn't keen on her. But as the show rolled around and we got introduced to Yuigahara and their dynamics started evolving, I started, tolerating her. I started liking her a little bit more. But even now, up to this point, I still don't like Yukinon and Hachiman as a couple.
Yeah.
I think they go together really well. I think their discussions really show that they get along really well.
I think that their discussion.
Well, I can get more into this part later, but I think she's like better for Hachiman than you.
I disagree strongly on that point.
Okay,
okay.
Oh no! See, I think they just kind. It's not even that they're better. I think they just like have a better rapport, or they're just a better. Not like they're just kind of meld together better than Yui.
Yeah.
Yui's just kind of.
Like I like Yui more.
Everyone likes Yui more.
Like Yui more.
You're meant to like Yui more. She's more likable. But she kind of.
Before Hachiman.
Yeah, she kind of forces the relationship with Hachiman a bit.
Yeah, and encourages some bad habits, even if she doesn't intend to.
Yes, I like Hachiman and Yukinon as friends. I think they have great banter as friends, but I don't think that they bring out the best in each other.
Oh,
I think she like discourages his like horrible, unhealthy like habits of like trying to sacrifice.
So does Yuigahara.
And I think I don't know. Yeah, after the student council thing in season 2, she like goes up to him like, "Good job, Hachiman. You did it." And it kind of makes him be like, "Yeah, I did it. That was the right thing," when it wasn't. It was not the right thing.
I don't think she really like congratulates him on it. She's just kind of like, you did it. You accomplished it well, like kind of well done, kind of that way. But She always is angry at him for it though. There's always a bit of seeding in her for him doing it that way though. Like she does.
Yeah. She still doesn't like to see him get hurt.
Yeah,
But I don't think he's more okay with the results than Yukino is what I'd say.
Like, I feel like Hachiman and Yui would. I feel like Yui is a positive, just a force of positivity, basically.
yeah.
I feel like we haven't talked
Okay,
about Yui
Yeah, we
yet,
have
so
to.
we
Yeah,
just do
yeah.
that
okay,
Go
so
into
before
her
we
first
argue.
before we go into the ships.
Our little ray of sunshine, Yui Gahara. We met her a little bit after we met Yukinon, and
Yeah, episode 2. Was it episode 1 or was it like episode 2?
I think it was 2. I think it was just kind of like set up in the first one to like show that he like went into the club.
Yeah, I think
and
so.
then she kind of appeared.
Yes, he was like the first request.
yes, she was in the sort of popular group. So Hachiman was obviously watching her in a sort of creepy, sort of not creepy way because it's Hachiman, so he didn't intend for it to be creepy.
Yeah, it's just who he is.
Yeah. And to be fair, people watching, I've got a point here to talk about later on in Uzaki-chan, how I love the owner and his daughter, and their favorite hobby is people watching. So I can't really fault Hachiman for that.
Yeah, no,
but they're hot, so it's fine.
They are literally drinking the tea. Like they're just like.
Yeah. But we'll get to Uzaki when
we
we get
to Yui, she makes her request, and she finds these sort of friends. We're going to get onto this word a little bit later in more detail, but she finds sort of genuine friends with Hachiman and Yukinon, more so than she thought she had in the popular group.
Yeah.
And at that point in the series, I definitely that her friends with Hachiman and Yukinon were a lot closer and a lot more genuine than with the popular group.
Oh god, that one word in reference to this anime. Oh god,
it's such a
hated word. Yeah.
There's so many things to talk about when we're talking about an entire anime. But yeah, she joins Hachiman and Yukinon, and she balances out the trio. She's the mature one, even though she's always tries to be positive and mature, which is a combination you don't see often. Normally, you have like the younger one who's like the little ray of sunshine, and you get the one who's like all mature, sort of like the mom of the group.
But you can still tell she's a teenager trying to be mature.
Yeah.
She fakes her smile a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh no, this last season's been very hard. Just watching that.
It has not been happy for the Yahoo guy.
Yeah, and just like watching that smile break so much is.
It's the Yahoo no season.
That was terrible. We're gonna have to cut that. But anyway, so that's our main trio. So
okay, back to the shipping
back to the shipping argument. Sure.
I would love if Hachiman and Yui got together. It would be great. I want it because I want Yui to be happy. But I don't think Yui actually really wants that though. I think she just wants to keep the group together. I don't think she really wants it so badly that she would force it.
Yeah, I think Yui's like terrified of like what would actually happen when a relationship starts. That's the main thing with Yui.
She keeps going on about how she's greedy. She wants to man, but things change, which obviously can't happen.
And I also think to some degree they all think that if one of them starts dating the other, then they can't be friends with the third person anymore, which isn't the case, but because they're teenagers, they think that's the case.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like they think that more so, not because they were friends beforehand, but because they were in this sort of love where it's sort of like rubbing it in the other person's face if you hang out with them constantly.
Yeah, I think it was really funny that they actually had Hachiman acknowledge,
it was really funny
that they were in a love triangle when he was asked, "What do you think your circumstance is?"
Relationship
he said it was a love triangle. I thought that was really funny and just
Arno just cackles.
I think it was just kind of like kind of weirdly fourth wall breaking, or like kind of like almost mature of them just to be like, yeah, this is what's kind of happening, because most teenagers wouldn't even think that was actually happening to them. They'd just be like, no way.
No chance.
Yeah, especially someone like Hatsuma.
Yeah.
There's never had any interest. There's never had any girls interested in him before.
Yeah.
I'm not certain about this because I'm just reading about it in like Reddit threads, but apparently in Hatsuman's thoughts, his feelings are like way more here.
Well,
Like I think they're gonna do a Yukino and apparently he's a lot more direct about how he feels about Yukino and his thoughts.
well, of
apparently.
course that's going to be the same. That's of course going to be like, if you can see his thoughts, you're gonna know. Like that's always been the way of books and movies and
Yeah.
like you can't really get much like how vague all of them are all of the time. The most infuriatingly vague anime in existence about people's. Of course, the thoughts are going to be a lot more clear because they're going to be racing. They're going to be roaring through their heads when they're trying to be as vague as possible.
Like, how can I say this but not have them figure out that?
It's like it's just like 3D chess and they're 4D chess in their minds. It's like Kaguya-sama, but actually being subtle about it.
But it's actually dumb fucking theologian.
Yeah.
We touched on Haruno there a second ago.
Is it Haruno bit session
sure.
time?
Let's.
Okay, I
crack your fingers there and go.
I fucking hate Haruno. C is like so incendiary. She's so obnoxious. She's the type of person who likes to sell that she's helping, while at the same time she just wants to seem smart. She just wants to seem like really smart, but in the end, she just kind of like makes everything worse.
One line she said in the most recent episode was, she wants to see something genuine, and then Hayama responded that even if it wasn't genuine, the people, they were helping each other little by little, and she said no real feelings can come from that sham, or something along those lines.
I think if Haruno really genuinely wanted them to be genuine, she herself would be genuine and say that.
What does the word genuine mean?
Yeah, it's said so much. It screamed so much in this anime that it's
a very real, honest relationship where you tell people how you feel instead of just kind of like dancing around it, I think, and being scared.
Yeah, it's just such an ironic thing to say in this anime. It's just I don't I really don't know how it's kind of gonna go anymore, especially after the last kind of episode. I know that obviously it's kind of set in stone that he's probably going to go for Yukino. Just
I feel like it's completely in a reset.
Honestly, have either of you two watched Koito Uso, or The Red Thread of Fate, I believe it's called in English?
No.
No.
Well, spoiler warnings for anyone who wants to watch it, although I wouldn't really recommend it because it's not that great of an anime. But
we can put one in the skips, and maybe if you want to skip it.
Great, giving me more work. But
you're welcome.
But at the end of this, basically, there's a guy, and he loves his childhood crush, but this is a society where your match gets scientifically chosen for you. And he tries to choose between this person who he's had feelings for forever and this person who he scientifically is supposed to be best for him, and he does grow to have feelings for her more and more as the series progresses. And the very last episode ends with them all in a church, because I think they were like a bridal party or something like that. And he runs in the door like he's stopping a wedding, and the two of them are standing at the top, and he says, "I can't choose one of ye, I choose both of ye."
You don't get to do that.
This was like, I felt so cheated.
Can I say like a small side note about a harem done well, where he actually just fucks everyone? Okay, there's this manga, kind of recent. There's like 30 chapters. the 100 girlfriends that really, 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 really love you. That's the actual name. And yeah, it's a harem where he just gets with every girl, but it doesn't feel bad because that's the case from like chapter 1, and they somehow manage to make it feel like he genuinely loves all of them. It's so good and it's really funny.
What was that harem called? I believe it's an older one. I believe I saw make a video about it recently, where a guy it's a harem show with the guy who makes girls fall in love with him, or to sort of like help them, and then some like fairy or something makes the girls forget about him.
The World God
Only knows. What's the Japanese name for that? Do you know?
I have no clue.
It seems like a really interesting show.
Isn't that an isekai one? Oh no!
No, it's not. It's not.
No, I know which one you're on about. Yeah, that one's really, really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it, but I watched it years ago. So
yeah.
I know like the anime like skipped a huge chunk of the manga chapters, like between seasons.
Would you ever go back and read the manga as opposed to the anime?
I might someday, but currently I don't care enough to do that, so I don't know if I actually ever will.
But anyway, we got on a tangent here. I believe I'm prepping myself for the worst right now because I feel like he's going to try to, and I can't handle that again.
No, Hatsuman's not that fucking stupid. Hatsuman's not that fucking stupid.
I've been burned before, okay? What I feel like he could do, realistically, is he could choose none of them. He could say, like, I don't want either of you, I just want... Because Yui's wish, one of her wishes is to be with Hachiman, but her other wish is to keep things the way they are. So he could try to fulfill that second wish instead of her first one.
He could just get with the teacher. Like that's always an option.
Yeah. That's the best. That's the two option. That's the good end option.
Or the trap guy. He could just get with that.
I'll also accept that as a two.
The amount of blushing he's done when he's in the proximity of what's his name, Psycho?
Psycho. I think it's Psycho.
Yeah, it's really funny. He's just constantly blushing around this guy, and he only he barely ever even like blushed towards Yui.
He never shows anything or anyone else, basically.
only like Yui, I think he's blushed in front of a little bit, but that's kind of it.
Yeah.
And it's just like really funny.
This man has shown the most blatant romantic interest for another guy. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
But yeah, the word genuine. I believe personally that it's a difficult word to define, especially when they hold it in such high regard. What I hate that Haruno does is she feels like she thinks that she's the arbiter of what's real and what's not.
What's genuine.
And I understand she's trying to help her sister, but at the same time, personality is fluid. Lack of personality could be a personality in and of itself. And who is she to say that it's not the right personality to have?
True. Do
Well,
you think that...
in fairness, Yukino actually has like stuff she has to work to. She has like a lot of documents. You were saying, Faye?
Do you think she has at all a basis for codependence thing? Because I think she might be a tiny bit right, just because.
I think she's a little right, but I think codependence is like blowing it way out of her person.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because codependence is like a loaded word. That's like encouraging a drug addiction. That's the way it's usually used.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they are helping each other and they rely on each other.
Yeah. And they encourage bad habits to a degree. Not that big of a degree, but to a degree.
They encourage Hachiman's bad habit of being down to what other bad habits do they really?
Hachiman yet Yukino rely on him a lot.
That's true, but oh, okay. So, do you want to kind of move on to the supporting cast and I guess a general one? What do you think of the other friend group, like the popular kids that kind of come in and out during the series?
Okay.
The sporty guy, he's called
Yes.
Hayama, right? Yeah.
I absolutely adore Hayama and Hachiman's.
Yeah, I like
I
their
think
Yeah,
they
it's
probably
kind of
have,
it's
they're
cool.
good like
I think they have the second best relationship in the show. I honestly think they have the second best rapport in the entire show, right after Hachiman and his teacher.
The Teats is so
She
good.
Oh,
is.
but him and his sister is really good as well. It's like
Oh,
one of the
you're
only
the-
sibling
Actually,
relationships.
that's number one. That's number one.
Uh,
Yeah, stay up. That's like the best sibling relationship.
So what do you think the best relationships in the show?
I think it's actually like an actual sibling relationship. Like it's not like usual
Yeah.
anime ones where there's like kind of stupid,
Yo, me up, yo.
like yes, like stupid sexual things kind of going on in usual most anime like brother sister relations, which is really stupid. But this one is just really, it's correct. They always like are like annoying each other, or they're always playing off each other.
But you can feel that they love each other in a family way.
Yeah. Especially when she was going through her exams and all, and him trying to help her out as much as he could.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was
And he teared up when at the end.
Yeah. When she's always looking out for him and always trying to help him in his pursuit or his unknowing pursuit of Yui and Yukinon.
yeah.
I feel like it's known enough at this point. He said love triangle. He's
I
aware.
honestly want to rewatch the show to try to figure out at what point
it kicked.
Because I didn't see like a distinctive point personally.
I think it's good that there wasn't like a point. I think it's good that it was gradual because that's more
It is,
natural.
yeah.
That's more realistic.
There's like one kind of thing, like bad thing I have to say about it. It's just like the second season and third season just kind of feels like kind of a rehashing of each other, just because like it just feels like, oh, you can on like Yuki like you can like tries to set like do another event, and now Hachiman has to try and help her again. It just kind of feels, I don't know, it just it feels very like redone, and it just feels like there wasn't that much growth, because the kind of same thing is kind of just happening again.
I can kind of get you, but I think it was like season 2 was Hachiman going and realizing what he actually wanted and realizing that he needs to be honest about how he feels. And this season is more about him still doing that to a degree, but mainly Yui and Yukino also really coming to that revelation for themselves.
I feel like, yeah, I agree that it is a bit of a rehashing, but even Yukinon herself rehash. Like, I didn't want to rely on you again, but I ended up doing it again.
Yeah, it's just like you kind of do feel really bad for like Yukino, just because she has to just constantly try and do all these things. Like it's not really, she doesn't really wants to do these things, but it's just her mother and her sister constantly trying to get her to do these things, or she kind of feels like she has to.
Her family is terrible. Her family's terrible.
Yeah.
I feel really bad.
The mother is terrifying.
Can we take a note and like give some applause to Hachiman for the like 8D chess you hit me with a car stats in the newest episode?
Yeah, that was the one card he had to play, and he did it fairly perfectly. She asked the perfect time.
Yeah.
I love the part where he's just like, "How is your yag?" And he's like, "Oh, it's feeling great. I can't wait to dance with at the piano."
Yeah, that was the perfect line.
Yeah, that was great. I loved. Yeah.
The teacher even like kind of shoulders him like, "What the fuck, dude?"
There's a scene. I know this is very off, but I just want to point it out while I remember. There was a scene a couple of episodes ago where Hachiman, he's basically teasing Yui, and he makes the entirety of his anti-prom committee say "Yahalo" in unison.
Yeah, it was so funny. It was
The rest of them are against it, then they see Yui's face and they're like all in favor.
But it was at that point that I realized that Hachiman, it's not that Yui is like coming on. Well, she might be coming on a little bit too strong, but like other characters see like her appeal, like they see why she's such a great person. And I've just got written down here: Hachiman doesn't deserve Yui.
Yeah, I think what it is it's the thing Iwoa. We'll talk about Iwoa actually because he's gay and we haven't talked about her. It's the thing Iwoa mentioned of how he acts like a big brother all the time. I think he like almost thinks of Yui like a Sibian.
Oh.
I think he's Sibian zoned.
I feel like. Do you remember at the start of at the start of season 1, and they were going together
Yeah.
to a bunch of different things, and he was blushing and all of that,
Yeah.
but he kept saying to himself, like, oh, like, this is very dangerous. If I start thinking like this,
Yeah.
I'll start thinking she actually likes me. I feel like he's still in that mindset where, like, oh, she couldn't possibly like me.
No, I think he's well aware at this point. He's going way past
Yeah, no,
that.
he knows now, but I don't. I think he's just waiting for like one
I
of
don't
them
know if
to
he's
like decide, because like that was kind of the point of season.
yeah.
Was the end of it was just like, okay, when he like they're kind of facing off against each
Yeah.
other. Like I don't think I don't think Hachiman can decide. I think they kind of have to decide between them, because it's gonna hurt more if he does. I think
I think even if he's decided in his head, they are all three of them are just terrified of like the aftermath, so none of them want to say anything.
Yeah, because the first genuine friends they all made were in that.
Yeah. And Confession has the risk of using at least one genuine friend.
Yes. I mean, they feel it's round. The way they do things is very round, but it's understandably roundabout.
Yeah, they're just very scared of. Sorry, like pretty much for stealing a line from the movie from the show, but like they're afraid to be genuine about what they're actually going to do.
Like even like all the characters keep calling him out on it. It's like Hayama called, Hina called him out. Like, it wasn't there an easier way of doing all this? And he's like, oh yeah, this is easier for me, or for us, I believe he said.
Yeah, which is an excuse on his part.
Do you think like the the arc from season 2 where Hachiman has to help out the popular group by kind of confessing to some,
Not fuck up,
like
not fall apart.
Like did they think that was like foreshadowing for like their own thing, that like someone might have to do that. Like
I don't think that's gonna happen to them, because that would be like it would go against what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I think that might have been a thing that like they saw and were just scared of that happening as well. I think it was just
yeah. Actually, that's a really good cop.
I honestly, I got annoyed at Yuki. I was like, and then I got annoyed at her after, because she trusted Hachiman to get the job done, and then when he got the job done, she was mad at him. And she knew his methods. She knew he wasn't going to go like offer them money to walk away or something.
No, I see. I think the thing was.
I don't. He didn't. No. Yeah. Oh yeah. You talk.
Sorry. I think the thing was she knew what he's probably going to do, but she wasn't prepared to see like the emotion on his face or the anguish of everyone else. It's much more different to kind of lay out a plan, or just so him to say he's going to do something, but to actually see the aftermath of something is very different. And she, like Yukinon, is a very kind of closed off person, and she doesn't see much emotion because she didn't really have any friends before. But now she's after seeing her friend go through this and hurt himself, it's going to hurt a lot more than she probably thought it would be.
It's what the teacher said to him at the end of season 1. It hurts other people.
Yeah. Do you think that Yukinon liked Hachiman back then when he confessed to Hina, when he did the mock confession to Hina?
No.
I think she was starting to get feelings that she wasn't sure what they were yet, but she was like getting close to it. It wasn't quite or at the very least, she wasn't aware of it.
Yeah, I think maybe it was kind of starting, but no, I don't think so. Wait, see, the seasons are all kind of messed in my head. Was that after their kind of date? Or was that before?
No,
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think the kind of date kind of censored for her probably.
Oh yeah. The 100% was into him by the time of like the date at the theme park after the genuine scene. The part at the end of the newest episode was like.
What do you think Yui is going to do at the end of this if he does pick Yukonon?
I think she'll like just buckle up, face her feelings until I'd be friends with them anyway.
Hmm.
I think even if they get together, I think Yui will confess with the full expectation and knowledge she'll be shut down. I think that's what.
I mean, she kind of did that already at the end of the second season. She was trying to make Yuki-non confess, but she wanted to sort of lose, I guess.
No, but I mean, like, she's going to tell Hatsuman exactly how she feels after him and Yukino get together, with the expectation he'll reject her, just to get off her chest.
You think she's going to wait till after?
So they can be genuine. I feel like that might happen because he's really scared. I feel like she'll be the last one to kind of be genuine.
Honestly, I think she's the least scared of all of them. Like she's been making moves. She's been changing things. It was her who planned the day at the aquarium and then the first wheel at the end. She was the one who tried to make Yuki-non give Hachiman the cookies. She was the one who she put her head on Hachiman's shoulder when they were trying to plan the prom thing. Like I feel like she's the least scared of all three of them.
It's sorry,
the head on the prom was her, like she had narration there that implied she was like, "This is the best I'll ever get, so I should just be satisfied with this."
I think her maturity is kind of biting her in the back, kind of in this thing, because she knows what, like, she can hold in her feelings. I think a bit more. She knows that, like, she can stop herself from exploding. And like probably confessing and actually going the full way, but I think Yukon will not be able to. I think Yui is able to hold her back completely more than Yukon will be able to. And I think that's kind of what's going to drive a disadvantage.
How do you think she'll react to like Katsuman next episode, since he's apparently going to tell Yanter with?
I feel like this is going to backfire spectacularly when she learns that Yuki-non was the one who asked Hachiman.
Yeah, because that's terrible.
Yeah.
It really depends on what he thinks her wish is.
I feel like he's aware of what her wish is, which is why it's really bad.
She does have multiple wishes.
Yeah, see, it depends if he thinks that she wants to go out with him or she wants to keep the group together. So it depends which one he picks, and he might just pick the one that's more convenient for him, which is keeping the group together. Not to be horrible about Hachan, but he doesn't want to I don't think he really wants to burst the bubble on it yet either. And he wouldn't want to do it this way either, where Yukon is kind of like giving up.
We should probably specify, because we haven't, because this will be watched in. It's possible this will be watched by someone a year in the future. We are talking about filming like season T, episode 8.
Okay.
That is our perspective.
No, we will be talking about future episodes. This is a sort of a general discussion as it stands at the moment.
Because Ben only watched the show like 2 days ago, so we want to see what he thinks.
Through that shit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is there any more final thoughts about this?
Yeah, give brief final thoughts and then move on, I'd say.
I think that the characters in this show are great. I think that the relationships, they are very interesting. They're not the sort of thing you see in every sort of show. I think it's going to be I'm honestly terrified how they're going to handle the ending.
Yes.
This show could be iconic for the right reasons or the wrong reasons, depending on how this last season ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People were waiting 5 years for this. They want a good.
They waited like 5 years.
I've only been waiting about like a week.
You waited a day.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Like 7 hours.
The pain.
I think the ending could, I agree. I think the ending could make or break it. I think it's that kind of situation. I think it's that, depending on all the ending, all of this will have been like fine arts, top tier, or it could be a garbage.
I mean, some great anime can ignore their ending, like Death Note. No one talks about after episode 24 of Death Note.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't watch the second half after that happened. I didn't watch the rest.
Yeah.
Hot take. I can't get into the first half of Death Note. I didn't even get to the bad
Did you
part.
not?
No.
Okay. Well, yeah, but other anime, the ending can just like
destroy it.
Can't think of an example off the top of my head, but I know.
Well, if we give any examples, we'll kind of spoil it.
Very true.
I mean, the anime with the initials SD.
I don't know what that means. That's good. It works. If you know, you know.
My final thoughts are pretty much that I hope that Hachiman picks well. I really hope that at least Hachiman can be happy. That's all I want. And Yui. I don't give a crap about anyone else. And also yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Just,
fuck you, Hachi and Yui.
Actually, no, sorry, no.
The actual two ship.
Actually, no, sorry. The
actual
sister,
two ship I have.
the sister can fuck off. She can die. I hope the popular guy and her get together, and then they just end up miserable together.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good guy.
That's a good guy. And Yumiko has sort of grown on me a little as the season goes on.
Yeah.
She was very one-dimensional in season 1, but she's got more dimensions now.
Mm-hmm.
Smiled once.
Yeah, my actual ship is everyone X happiness. Everyone X happiness.
Yeah, that's fair.
Also, Iroha is really good. We didn't mention that. Iroha is gay. Stan Iroha.
I'm not mad about Iroha, honestly. I think she's a fine character, and I think her joke of rejecting Hachiman constantly is pretty funny. But I keep
we never actually talked about her, yeah.
I think it's too late to talk to her. We've been talking about this for 40 minutes.
We'll come back. We'll circle back to Iroha next week.
Yeah.
When she wins.
She honestly might. Like, I keep expecting her to say at the end of the because she constantly rejects Hachiman. So I'm expecting her to go like, "Oh, I'm not actually rejecting you this time. Come on, buy me lunch," or something like that.
Yeah. It's like Chika and Kaguya-sama. I keep on saying to that she's just gonna pull a 180 and just go for Ishigami.
The Isagami Bowl and Kaguya's.
Anyway, ReZero.
ReZero.
Guys, what the fuck was that last episode?
Oh, we're at season 2, episode 9. That's the point we're talking about.
Yeah. Just after, who was it? Subaru's finally got answers about where the bunnies came out of. Those cute, adorable bunnies who've got a little bit of an appetite.
This idiot's gonna watch Monty Python before he was Uzaki.
Someone who has not watched Monty Python. Haha.
Yeah, so
I'll send you a YouTube video after, and you'll catch it. Don't worry.
Yeah. So we got a lot of answers in this episode.
We did. I love this episode.
It was so good.
One of my biggest complaints about this season of ReZero is this episode was just like exposition dump. The episode.
Yeah. You want answers? You got a bunch of them. And more questions.
Yeah, so many more questions. I was like, so many questions. Just okay. So the first thing that happens, I watched it a day or two ago, but it was crazy. Like so pretty much we got confirmation that like Return by Det is pretty much indefinite. It's pretty much infinite. He's never going to stop. It's never going to stop happening as long as as I guess the witch cares about him.
Loves him.
As long as the witch loves him.
And that Return by Det only cares about him.
Yes.
If he goes past the point where like everyone else died, it doesn't matter. You're safe. So checkpoint.
That kind of blew out my like theory that it was all about saving.
No, Satella doesn't care.
I know, but I thought because they were all talking about her being a vessel, that like his whole purpose was to make sure she didn't die. But it's all about making sure he doesn't die for some reason.
Because Satella loves him, and we don't know why that is. But that's
we finally see like Satella in the shadowy flesh. And did you notice that there is more than a striking resemblance between Amelia and Satella?
It's the same voice actor.
Is it actually?
Yes.
I thought the voice sounded. See, I've got two theories now. Honestly, I'm thinking that there's got to be more of a relationship between Satella and Amelia than I first was believing. So, because Amelia had disappeared by the time that Satella appeared, it could either be that Satella is sort of like time travel type Amelia, like Amelia come back after Subaru had died, and she said, "Oh, I love you, so don't die again." So she gave him this power. Or it could be that Amelia and Satella share one body, sort of a split consciousness type thing, and that's why Roswell.
Or that he's just so similar that he can serve as a type of vessel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but do you think that Satella showed up because he talked about return by death? Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, I think he got really pissed off that he couldn't immediately stop him. And the like anger and his energy kind of built up outside the tea party.
Yeah, like that was the only change from that one to from the last one to that one.
Yeah.
Wait, do you think that Amelia disappeared because it was actually Amelia there and Satella took her over?
I think so.
I don't know.
That kind of fits because why would she just disappear?
Well, she could have just gone Ian.
It wasn't covered in the shroud. Like everyone was.
Yeah, but she could. Like the first thing Subaru says when he wakes up is, "Did she like one out in a panic?" So she could have done that, and then got Ian. I don't think that happened, but it could have happened.
There's also a little line that is fairly powerful. At the very start of the episode, Kidna, no one knows how the witch's mind works, not even me, and I don't want to know. She wants to know everything, doesn't want to know how the Witch of Envy's mind works.
She hates her that much. She's like, "I have a win here, you're a bitch. That's all I need to know."
And we also got to meet 3 more witches. We got to meet Typhon, the Witch of Pride. We got to meet Minerva, the Witch of Wrath, and we got to meet Daphne, the Witch of Gluttony.
Fun fact: Daphne's voice actor is Yui's.
Really? Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
Cool. Okay.
Just waiting for the next episode, where Yui just eats Hachiman.
It's eager to eat in Hachiman.
High school's eager.
Yeah. Did anyone like scream at Subaru when he was like when to touch her, and I was like, "You're told not to touch her. Don't touch her."
You were. Apparently, there is a scene in the web novel where he sees her left eye, like it sips out, and he goes into like a caged state where he starts eating his arm. That's the effect it has.
I'm very curious about the witches, sort of how they came to be. What?
Yeah, they have no understanding of people. Like, did they even start as normal like Keatsers or what?
I feel like at the very least the Witch of Gluttony did. I feel like she is someone who like didn't have enough food, and she was almost always on the brink of starvation, which is why she thinks that food is such a big thing.
But at the same time, she thinks it's unfair for that food to like just not have a fight.
To be fair, that is a fair argument.
Apparently, in an interview, the like Otter said that if you actually ate a Mabies, it would taste terrible. Like you'd almost want to vomit.
You can still eat it though. Like she wasn't too worried about the taste, and like because she eats literally everything. She also said that that Subaru smelled like tasty. Do you think that's because of the witch?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say so. Or maybe it has to do with whatever reason Satella has like just for him.
What did you think of the 3 witches? What are your thoughts?
I think they're pretty interesting. I hope we get to see more of them.
Yes, so the witch Typhon, that was kind of interesting. So he like touched.
He was creepy.
He like touched her, but like he fell apart, but he felt no pain. So I think what she was kind of saying was that he wasn't prideful at all, but he thought himself prideful. Yeah. That's why he didn't feel any pain, but he fell apart. That was very interesting.
No, it's just because he's a sinner. Yeah. It was sinner, not prideful.
It's if you were a bad person, he would have been screaming in pain when she ripped off his arm. and if he thought he was a bad person, he would break apart. So he thought he was a bad person, but he
Yeah.
didn't feel any pain from the arm thing. So
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Do you think part of why she like immediately jumped at a chance to talk to him is because she's the wits applied, and like he thought he was like the archbishop applied at first.
Ooh, maybe. I feel more so that she wanted to talk to him because she was bored. She does seem
Yeah,
like a kid, like an impulsive kid.
yeah.
Like she. Do you think that she has emotion, or not emotion, but empathy? Do you think she has empathy?
I think all of the witches are disconnected from like how a human would
Even
think
Minerva?
from their own humanity.
like they're all dead.
Even Minerva. I'd say Minerva is in a way we haven't seen yet. Yeah, no, but I feel it seems like even in Yife, because of like the gluttony beast, like
Yeah.
that isn't someone who like cared about much about their fellow humans.
I
but,
mean,
like,
she did want to. She was saying like the main reason she made them was people would have enough food.
but like the actual nature of them shows she didn't really understand it. If you get me.
It's sort of like she's sort of like a robot.
Yeah,
Very logical.
yeah. Like this makes sense on paper, but since they yak like some basic humanity stuff, it didn't work out.
I really want to see more of Minerva. I think she'd be an interesting character.
Yeah.
Minerva was really weird. I think like what do you think the like dynamic is if they're all living together? All those witches, they're just like.
I think they're in like solitary hell dimensions or something until they get a chance
Yeah,
out.
it said they what was it? They're with her in this castle of dreams. Echidna said that.
Okay.
So honestly, I'm thinking the dream they might be in. They might be in Satella's.
Maybe,
Because
yeah.
Satella would have been the one who would have known them the best. And
Yeah.
I think it's it's interesting. I think Minerva. I think we haven't really seen what she's like. She's
We haven't seen much for.
like she's the sin of rat. I'm guessing like she's only going to be angry at the people. She's actually like she's just angry at. She was angry at Typhon for what she did to him. So like that's all I think she thinks about is just getting even. Probably it's so.
I'd say if we see more of her, we'll see how she can get misled sometimes or something
she
like
did
that.
say something interesting though, Minerva. She said she didn't say I hate Typhon for doing this. She said I hate the world for making Typhon do this.
Oh, that's a really good cat.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
We were also talking about their legends a couple of episodes back, weren't we? Do you remember what legends there were for gluttony, wrath, and because I remember all I remember is the sloth one. I remember the sloth one killed a dragon so they could or something like that.
They pushed the dragon beyond the waterfall. I think it was so they could get a rest.
Yeah.
Gluttony was she made new beasts so the world the world would never be hungry.
Hunger.
Yeah. And I think I can't remember what the rat was. I can't remember some of the other ones, but they're the kind of ones that stuck out pretty much. I think I can't remember what Envy's. Well, she never said what Envy was. She just said she was the worst of all. But I wonder what triggered.
I'm curious. She said she's the worst of all because she killed everyone else.
Yeah.
The only two witches we haven't seen are Just and Sloth.
Oh, Sloth is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Because Subaru is now he's not a finger. What's it called?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He has a sloth
factor.
Okay. Well, what did you think of that? The post-credit scene
with Roswell.
Roswell having a gospel.
Do you want to go to that now, or
unless there's something else? Like Gar saved Subaru when he was.
But we haven't actually talked about how good that scene was. The ice through scene.
Which scene?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that scene was so good.
Oh god.
The song that kind of was like the Wits' call sound from season 1, but like I hear a different song that was so good. and her just repeatedly saying it in a really creepy way. That was so good.
Yeah.
It like actually freaked me out having like the love you like love you coming toward you.
Yeah, it was horrifying. It was
just kind of actually
terrifying.
freaked me out, and I was just like, yeah, just her hugging him then, like, and then it was just it's just crazy. But I don't know, like, is he just going? What's he going to do with that now? Like having just this.
Yeah.
Having like just this sea of darkness around, it's like the whole like just swallowing everything pretty much. I don't.
Well, he's gonna die. This is kind of
It's
unavoidable.
reset.
Yeah, he has to die. He's going to ask. Sorry, what's the Beastman's name?
Garfield?
He's going to have Garth kill him.
Garfield.
Oh yes, Garfield. Right?
And say, think of me like lasagna, Garfield.
I wonder, do you think that Satella is affected by Return by Death? Or is she immune to it?
No. I think it's like a kid. She's like just outside.
But she is in like the material plane. Like she's with.
I think she can put herself in the material plane, and if she's possessing Amelia, then that would be how she's doing it here.
But imagine if Subaru killed himself to try to recover, and then Amelia was just gone because Satella wasn't affected, and she's just like gone outside of the barrier now.
Oh, I don't think it'll get that bad. I don't think so.
I think she'll let him just return. I think.
Yeah.
I think like that
because like she's doing this out of like an envy tantum. So maybe him killing himself would make her go like, okay, you yearn to yes, you yearn to be loyal.
It'll pretty much show him what'll happen if he ever mentions it again. He's like actually showing her power instead of just he the first time he tried to say it to someone, like she killed Amelia, and this time she pretty much is killing everybody he cares about. Like she's headed towards Mansion because she already killed everyone in the village and actually going after everyone else.
Yeah. Oh, actually, one thing we forgot. Kidna's like payment.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
What do you think is up with that? She.
I have such a terrible feeling about that.
Do you have any like theories?
I don't know. The guess I have in my head is maybe next time he meets Petra, maybe she'll have like forgotten him or not care about him anymore or something like that.
You think Echidna would do that to him?
I think after seeing all of the other witches, I think there's like a terrible side of Echidna we're not seeing.
Almost certainly. Like she is a witch. Like she's not doing all out of the kindness of her heart.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I know, but I think like she's kind of one of the probably more neutral ones. It's just kind of like she's knowledge. She's like it's good or bad how you use it.
Exactly.
I think because of that, because she's given that impression, that scares me more.
I think
the normal one in like a group of cases, are they actually normal?
I think what's going to happen is I'm expecting something bad to happen with Echidna, but my theory for what happened with the handkerchief is next time that Subaru meets Petra, she is going to have the the knowledge factor.
The knowledge factor?
He's got the sloth factor. There's got to be a factor for each witch. So.
Yeah. Well, that would be the greed factor.
Greed, that's hers.
Yes,
yeah.
Right, sorry. My mistake.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. I think she was very weird about it. She kept on going on about like how it was emotionally important. So
yeah.
But she didn't actually take it, so it's like some sort of like weird thing.
She said she didn't want to disrespect the maiden whose feelings No, it's going to be interesting because Satella is basically outside of the barrier anyway. There's no way that Subaru is going to stop her getting outside the barrier. So he's probably going to meet in this lifetime.
Yeah. Or Otto flies in with his animal army as the king of blows and saves the day.
I honestly, I would agree with you, but I can't call anyone Komichi from Origairu the king of bros. She is 100% the biggest bro.
Honorary king.
Do you think that Amelia will ever actually be able to finish the trial, even if he?
I think she will.
I do not. I think that she would if she was given enough time, but with the 4-day time limit, she's not going to be able to. Unless,
Mm.
unless Subaru is able to go into the trial with her.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to do it
Yeah.
together.
Because Subaru was saying like, oh, like I know you're goading me, but I know Amelia can do it. Basically, he said that to Echidna. So
I think he's going to attempt the next trial himself and realize he can't do it himself. I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah.
I wonder. Do you have any theories about what the next one's going to be?
I feel like at least one is going to be like trial by combat, and that's why he won't be able to do it.
I mean, the first trial is something to do with inner demons, your own guilt, I guess. Subaru had guilt about leaving his family. Amelia must have guilt about something else, something in her past.
Her past.
Her very mysterious past.
Like, I was saying this about Kaz, but I think that he's like she might be saying what Stella did. It's just and it's making it look like she's doing it because she's constantly saying, "Oh, it's not me. I didn't do that. I didn't do that." Like it's not like she's like being horrible. Like it's not like something she's actually thinks she has done. It's something she can't believe. I think that she like.
Maybe it has to do with Satella. Maybe it's people thinking she's Satella.
Here's another theory. I said earlier, what if they're split good and bad?
You mean like hero split?
And Satella's like not envy. Well, envy, yes, but sort of like obsession as well.
Yeah, the unhealthy part of you.
Okay,
that's gonna be interesting.
And now, finally, we should move on to the last thing. The book that Roswell was holding as he got swallowed by the darkness. He's very loyal. He's very, and he knows about Return by Death.
Yeah, definitely does.
Yeah, he knows.
He definitely does. No.
I hope you do better next time, Natsuki Subaru.
Yeah.
Like, so that means he know. Like, how could he know about this power unless the witch told him herself?
Like I mentioned this before when we just messaged before we decided to do this, that like it's possible that the fact what each wits factor does is known among wits cultists. It's possible it's like consistent people with the envy factor have returned by death. So he could know because of that.
Subaru had the witch factor before he had. Oh,
yeah, the Yacht wits factor was new.
But do you think he has? I thought he only had the power. I didn't think he had the envy witch factor.
I'm not sure. Part of me thinks they might be the same thing. Like return by death is the envy wits factor, but it's not like certain.
I don't know about that. Maybe she has had champions like throughout the years who she just hasn't wanted to die, like Subaru.
Yeah.
As it stands now, it just feels very specific onto Subaru.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, what do you think about the theory that Roswell, the book that Roswell had, it isn't a tampered book. It is one of the two real.
I think it's one
of the two.
I think it's one. I think it's one of the real two because it actually says that's probably how he knows about Subaru. Yeah, the actual proper two actually show what Subaru is doing, but the tampered ones that say like Slot had, like the Archbishop of Slot had Beetlejuice or something. I think that didn't show up. I think these ones are proper. They actually show all the like diverging timelines.
But
instead of just
Also like we know Beatrice has one of those two working ones. So like, and Beatrice like works for Roswell. She's like under him. Why would Roswell let her have the like really good one and only use a counterfeit bad one for himself?
I mean, there is also the argument to be made that why would Roswell be loyal to the witch if he had a true book?
Because he just likes her. It can Yuri be as simple as that. He just has the ulti.
Why would he have loyalty if he has such a Truva?
Maybe we don't know enough about Waswell to say it could be like anything. For all we know, they could be family.
Yeah, well, like he was saying before, he's an ally of them all, but like
he didn't say no. He didn't say in the. Are you talking about before when like Subaru asked him if he's their ally?
yeah.
I think his wording was like really specific. It's like you're my ally or something like that.
Like, the ally of my ally is my ally.
Yeah. It wasn't. He didn't say. I'm not sure if he. I remember it being really weird. It wasn't like I am your ally. It was like you are my ally.
You are
or
not
something
my
like that.
enemy, or something like that.
Yeah. Or yeah, like you are my ally. I'm not yours. That kind of thing.
A very good episode, and Quartet
Yeah.
gave us some hints way before.
It gave foreshadow. It keeps having foreshadowing.
Yeah, I really didn't think I'd have to like pay attention to that anime because like it's just I thought it was just like a dumb.
I never watched.
Oh,
it.
it's
You
such
never
a
watched it?
It's so
Oh,
good.
it's so good. It's so funny.
I'll watch it.
How
at
many
some
of the
point.
4 have you seen?
I've seen all of Konosuba. I'm Kiri caught up on V0. I watched like the first season of Overlord. I tried the second, and I couldn't care about the gizzards, and I've never touched
Okay,
on
yeah,
them.
Yeah, same. I'd be about the same.
I managed to get through the lizards, but other than that, I'm the same. But you should get a general. Oh, you know.
I have a general idea of what like Tanya and the West of Overlord is. Well, I can guess at what the West of.
Yeah, and it's not like all of it's too plus specific or anything like that. Like, absolutely.
Yeah, it'll probably just be vague foreshadowing, like we've gotten for V0.
I would definitely watch the first season of, not even just the second one, but the first one, because the ending, Faye, do you remember the ending? The was it the sports festival?
Oh yeah,
It's
it's
so good. We get a team up between our 4 main characters in a battle. It's amazing.
Yeah. That's so good. You know, I wish Shield Hero had a bit more time as well because I think he's really good in it as well in the second season or whatever. And was it Cautious Hero getting a cameo was kind of neat.
Yeah, Costa's got a cameo.
Yeah, that's a really good anime. I actually really like that, even though it's only gotten about.
I need to get back to it. I watched like the first half.
Oh, it's so good. The second half, you actually get like at the end. Well, I don't want to spoil it, but you get like a lot of explanation of what's going on. And it's really good. It makes it like a lot clearer about what's going on. It's really really good.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that's everything.
Oh, we've forgotten one thing. Amelia, not Amelia. Echidna Best Girl.
Oh yeah,
she's like weird and creepy, but also she's Best Girl. I'm making a folder of all her pictures.
Pretending
already.
No.
Okay, so this week in Uzaki. So Uzaki's a sort of show where there aren't really that many deep philosophical messages or anything like that. So I don't think we're going to be talking about it for 50 minutes or an hour or anything like that.
No, maybe like 10 minutes.
We're going to be very specified onto last week's episode or this week's episode. So this week's episode of Uzaki, our main character and Uzaki go to the fireworks together because Uzaki's feeling down. She's feeling down because she barfed on his futon after making him pay for all of her drinks on her 18th or 21st. It was 21st birthday, wasn't it?
It's the Eagle Jinkanades in Japan, and I think that's Chain 1. Yeah, it's Chain 1 because she was 19 at the start of the show.
She also barfed on herself while it like ran onto the futon.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like lying up, so it just like came up. Oh god.
One scene I did love in this week's episode. What is our main character's name again? I always find it hard to remember.
Sakurai.
When Sakurai was on, started kneeling on the ground and said like it's my phrasing too. Like I'm just as. But honestly, like with her handing him money, like I'm shocked that no one in the crowd thought that he was a gigolo.
Yeah. I love all the discussions where she just says like the most easy to misunderstand
Yeah.
stuff.
Do you think she's doing it on purpose?
No, he's too
No,
stupid.
yeah, she is really stupid. She just
No, she has one brain cell.
no. She is teasing him. She does tease him a bit, but I don't think she like just like some of the things like she like says seriously, and she actually is quite like she doesn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, she's kind of smart, but also she has one
when
brain.
I think about Uzaki, I always go back to the first year she was in college, and when she just like saw saw Sakurai just lounging around the place. She wasn't like hyper or anything like that. I feel like that's an act she just puts on to try to help him in his loner self, get out.
Yeah, even though he doesn't actually have Piafiums to it.
So in this week's episode, he actually did admit that he's glad things are the way they were.
Yeah.
The dad and his daughter, Ami, the owner of the shop and Ami, they really are the best characters. They're the audience.
Yeah. They're literally just sipping tea while they see like it all burn. It's really funny just like to see yeah, no, I love both. I love both of them, and they're just like yeah, no, go on, like just like entertain us.
Come on. We can't interfere too much.
But Ami did break her own rule today. What was his name? Sasaki. Sasaki. He felt a disturbance in the force, and he tried to jump off the boat to swim back to shore.
Yeah, the friend, his friend, and all. Yeah, the other guy that's like observing what's going on.
He represents the other part of the fan base. That's like he's just Bono, Woody.
Yeah, it's really funny. He's just like when he's like, oh, something really important is going on. Why am I on this boat? Please get me off. Vent, you were saying before that you didn't really like Uzaki just because you felt like she was just annoying.
I didn't like Uzaki up until I believe in episode 3 she showed that the annoying side of her where she's just like making fun of Saki. It isn't her default personality. It's just sort of the act she puts on to try to get him out of his shell. When she's just sort of like at home with him, trying to take care of him, like she's very caring and she makes food. And,
yeah, it's just Bants. It's just Bants.
Yeah. Just show she's deeper than 2 brain cells.
Yeah.
Must buy goldfish or
2 brain cells on her chest.
It was nice seeing him try to get her happy again. Like he actually does care a bit now instead of him just trying to constantly get rid of her.
Please get out.
There was another hilarious scene when he's like, "Oh, this isn't the proper Uzaki," and then he imagined what like she should be like, and he got annoyed at his own imagining. But still, it's I can understand how the devil is better than sort of like the boring sort of like character that she had become. But what was in that purse that she hit him with? Like she knocked him dead out. Like
yeah, there's just like coins in there or something, or there's just like everything. Like it's like a bag of holding. It just is a mini black hole.
But yeah, like do you think that if one of us got hit under the chin with a handbag, we'd get clocked out?
Oh,
yes.
Well, under the chin is like a kind of a weak point. It's like uppercuts can like. I remember there was a part in Hazume no Ippo where the main character messes up an uppercut and kind of yazes their chin, but it like messes up their nerves so they can't move for a bit. So he wins.
Like it does shake the brain. It does hit. Like the
yeah. It's a brain shaker.
I didn't think that Uzaki would bring down Sakurai.
Yeah. Oh.
It's just a wholesome sort of episode. You're trying to get each other back to normality. Yeah. Like I know some people don't like the show, but it's sort of like Umaru-chan, doesn't want to, or yeah, it's Umaru. Is the perfect girl, but then when she's
Yeah,
at
I think-
home, she becomes like a little midget who doesn't want to do anything but play games. Yeah, like if you hate the character, which I really didn't like Umaru, so I stopped after like half the first two. I just couldn't handle it anymore. Then you just won't like the anime.
Uzaki's a lot better.
Say again.
Uzaki's like way
Oh,
better
yeah.
than
Oh
Dumaru.
yeah, like
I watched like a tiny bit of that, and I didn't really get it. Really, I was just kind of like, okay, this is fine. It's just kind of it's just something to watch when you're really bored and have nothing else to watch.
Yeah.
Like there's no deep philosophical meaning, complex psychology in Mario.
You can't talk 40 minutes about the word gentleman.
I mean, I don't think we could talk 5
You made
minutes.
us want to die, so we kind of stopped.
We couldn't come up with like a good meaning for it. But yeah, it was a good episode of Uzaki. Definitely nothing groundbreaking, but solid.
Yeah, but it's fun. It does what it's meant to do.
And with I think that's all.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
all.
that's all. Okay, God of High School.
God of High School. So, Kaz, so Faye, you were the one who has watched you read and watched the manhwa.
With the manhwa, yeah.
I've watched the anime, and I am fine with it. I don't think it is amazing, but I think it's fine. But Kaz, you're dropping the show soon, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't think it's bad. I just can't stay interested. Is more it. It's like there's nothing there that really makes me go like, oh, I keep watching, or I guess I'll keep watching. It's just like I don't really care. It's like I can't exactly put my finger in it. It's just not getting me invested. And it's like I can put my finger on why I don't like the fights. I can put my finger
What's
on that. Okay, so first, the fight in episode 5, Mori versus Davy, that was fantastic. That was like a gay fight. It was so hype. The problem I have is that I think that's the only fight that wasn't a beatdown. Every other fight is either a beatdown from start to finish from one side, or one side is doing a beatdown, then the other side gets back up, and then it does a beatdown and wins. I feel like Mori versus Davy was the only one that felt like a real back and forth.
I think that's more because it's kind of the qualifiers. It's just kind of
but
it's like the throwaway characters. Like this, like the kind of arc that's happening now in it is where is the actual powerful people, where it's going to be a lot harder. It's going to be a lot more technical. It's going to be a lot like kind of bigger. Like event you've seen now, it's getting a lot bigger, a lot more powerful.
Yeah, that's another thing. This is just a personal thing. I kind of wish it just stayed as martial arts.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Same. Yeah.
I don't like them like summoning big magic stands. I just want them to punch each other.
See, the thing is, the webtoon or the manhwa did it a lot better that side, because it explained it explained a lot. So it would have been fine if it was just fight like the martial arts in the manhwa, but I think it kind of needs it in the anime, because the manhwa actually went through. So it I kind of did it, and like it showed like a profile of each character and said what their techniques were and what kind of fighting style was, and the backgrounds behind them, and that made it a lot more interesting to kind of see the technical side of each fighting style. But the anime just threw that out the window, and it's like, oh, this is what they do, but it didn't say how they match up to other like martial arts styles, and then it just kind of threw it away straight away. Then having Charyuk, just I think it kind of needs that in the anime, but the manhwa I don't think ever did. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, that sounds a lot more interesting.
Are you happy or sad that this is the anime? Because obviously it's probably not going to get another one, but it did get one, so...
See, I've dropped the manhwa as well, though, because I stopped reading it as well, around, like I'd say that around when this one is going to stop as well, just because it kind of got really stupid. Like it became.
Okay, fair.
It like you're saying that you don't like that it became martial arts. Well, now it's just gone a whole another level where it's not martial arts at all anymore. And that kind of threw me off it completely around then. And
yeah, I think I'd get turned off too.
If you are looking for a good just show about martial, the tiniest bit of superpowers, but it's really not like the superpowers have been dialed back so far. It's like if you use this, you will die. So he's trying to not use it basically. But Kengan Ashura, it's on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
If you can get around the weird looking animation, it's actually really good.
I've started the manga. I will probably stick to the manga. I really like what I have read so far.
I think the anime is honestly really. I got used to the animation, and it's so good. It's such a good anime. I wish more people could pick it up.
Yeah.
Sorry, Vent. You were saying before that you wanted a lot more information for this episode, this newest one.
Yes.
Did you get what you wanted?
In some ways, yes, but in others, not so much. But with that, we should probably discuss specifically. So it starts with Jin with Mori, because that's easier to say. With Mori riding like the wind to try to get to his grandpa on time, and the other two are looking for him. Like, where is that? And there was an interesting line or two that the Nox people said as they were talking about his grandfather. They said that he should fulfill the destiny that the heavens bestowed on you. He has a part to play. And they also said a little bit later on that their final weapon was his grandpa back in the past, and he defeated all of the. So Jin's grandpa, had been part of Nox at a point, is what I'm getting. But
no, that was he was their final weapon. It was kind of shown there he was fighting in a war, and that was between like North and South Korea.
Like the implication I got was that even just from the anime, it seemed like he was just part of the army.
Yeah,
okay.
that's like it's kind of also said a lot in the manga as well. Like some of the fighting styles were some of the martial arts were made to counteract each other's martial arts styles. So the one that Mori has was made to counteract one that was made in North Korea and stuff like that. So that's like his grandfather was their ultimate weapon because he could counteract their top like fighting style. See, it's very hard to like kind of say all this stuff like if it's not spoilers, but like it's said.
Yeah. I don't think you spoiled anything big.
Okay,
I think what you're talking about is the stuff that was cut, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's very annoying when I say like Vent is asking me all these questions, and I'm like, this should have been explained already in like the in the anime, but they just cut it. It's in fairness. In fairness for like an anime adaptation, like it's a lot of kind of words. They don't want to have like a load of words just on the screen. They want to be more cinematic, but it still seems to take away a lot from it.
Yeah, I think there's a way you can balance it, and sometimes they don't balance it.
On the topic of this man with the doppelganger power, I really can't make heads or tails of it. Okay, so his doppelgangers can turn into other people. We've seen that he turned into his Jin or Mori's grandfather, and it turned into the team that Hero was fighting. Yes.
Yeah. Wait, what? Was the other team his
yes,
doppelgangers?
Because we saw their bodies in the basement.
I didn't realize that was the
No,
implication.
yeah.
Okay.
And his doppelganger can also explode. Because it was Jin's grandfather that exploded. He exploded at the warehouse.
Yeah.
But so the doppelgangers he made like a good few of them. He made like 100 of Mori, yeah. But obviously they were very weak. They were doppelgangers of himself. But he also made doppelgangers of the other team, who apparently had their own personalities. One of them had his own chariot. He had a kraken chariot. Also, his doppelganger was able to hold, like he was the actual owner of that sword. So how can a doppelganger do that?
No, wait. They made that cut. They made that cut. Like a flashback of the big Shimmer guy at the cult, and he still looked the same.
Did. That's what doesn't make sense to me. It looks to me.
I think they're just people that happen to look similar.
No, I think the implication was that it was them. I think.
See, it doesn't make sense to me because it does look like that was part of Nox.
Yeah, that is weird. I was thinking about that before, actually. Yeah, it is really weird. But
I thought that was like he didn't trust his other, like, the members of Nox who were like, the team, so he tried to like replace them with his doppelgangers. But at the same time, he was beaten long before Mira bet the other dude. Bet the big black and muscular. Even though like we saw the shots happening at the same time, but Mori must have been traveling on his bicycle a good long while to get back to the arena, which means he must have been him like well in advance. So why was his doppelganger still hanging around and asking questions like, "What did you do with this dude?" I don't remember his name. What did you do with this dude?
Yeah.
While this dude was like, at the very least, he's out of commission. Like,
do you think that? Do you think that maybe he just his doppelganger, I'd say Charyuk, maybe had like another power where he can make people look like other people? Maybe.
Like, the only thing that makes sense to me is that he can make a doppelganger with the person he killed's abilities, I guess. Because how else does it explain the doppelganger, the Kraken Charyuk?
Yeah, maybe. I do think it could be that him not knowing is fine, because maybe they just have like separate sentience. They have like a completely separate. They're not a hive mind.
Yeah, like he can make like weaker doppelgangers who are a hive mind. Then he can specific ones who aren't. Yeah, that could make sense. Yeah, I just wish it was explained though. I wish it was explained.
Yeah, because it would be a bit weak if he couldn't do something else like that, because we saw like his doppelgangers weren't that powerful, even though he had like a lot of them.
No.
In comparison to say like the Kraken one or like the shark one that we've seen.
I mean, I feel like he was underestimating Mori, because if he wanted to, he could have made all of those doppelgangers explode on him, because that is something he could do.
Maybe it's just because he was in the BS zone.
Maybe, yeah. But do you know what? The theory I went with in the end was the guy that Mori bet down, that we saw in like the jewel panel type thing. I don't think that was his real body. Cool. I think he was another doppelganger.
It's very possible. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it is weird. I don't know.
Because
it's like the rabbits, it all ties back together.
I can't remember if that was brought up in, say, the manual. I don't remember. It was a long time since I did read it, but
we also learned that someone can have a how do you pronounce it? Chakryuk or
Charyuk, maybe.
Charyuk.
It's
Stand. You can have both a Charyuk and a national treasure, because the guy that Mira was facing, he had the sword, but when he lost the sword, he brought out his own Charyuk.
Yeah.
So
I think the national treasures are just I think it's explained or something, but they're just like their
It
prior,
sounds like equipment.
their prior weapons of things that can be Chariots. I think so. Like, I think they're just like power infused weapons.
That does make sense.
Like they're not actual Chariots. They're just like I think her getting that Chariot, which is actually the sword's owner, I think played a big part in her like training with that sword for so long.
There were two funny things I want to mention. One that Maury put his hands when he got to the warehouse and he said like, "Oh, my grandpa's here." He activated his grandpa's sensing powers.
My grandpa senses are tingling.
Yeah, he's a weird child. Just keep watching.
And there was also something I found hilarious when Mira was starting her fight. Every time she hit him, because he was so oiled up, you just heard like a
he just slid off.
Yeah,
just slid off.
Schlep.
Yeah, that was really funny.
Don't never say that sound again.
That was he was so oiled up you couldn't even hit him because that was really funny. And then it was just kind of forgotten about after. It was just like,
It was like there's also
I think it's just he got a handle of it.
We also got introduced to a new who met Dewi in the bathroom. And I really hate her design. I hate her design.
Yeah, I don't like it at all.
Like, what is up with those lips? What is up with those lips?
It's really fucked. Yeah, it's really
I don't
weird.
think there's any. No.
Like, I've just gotten used to the always red nose, and then.
Yeah, it's a weird style. It's meant to just be I think it's like a weird lineless kind of style, but it's real weird. I don't know. It's odd.
He just has like the melt of like a teeth scenario, and it's disturbing.
But, yeah, the fact that Jin got back so quickly from the warehouse was a little bit shocking. Because I had the impression that these things were happening like simultaneously, but there's no way that they were.
I think it might have been that they're not too far off, and maybe he just got a power up that
unless he activated his chakra. There's no way.
No, Vent. He just got really angry. That's the solution to all anime. You just get really angry, and so he got 100 times more powerful. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
This is starting to sound like some fairy tale logic.
And you become God.
The power of friendship and anger. That's all you need.
He's like powered by berserk energy.
Never seen berserk.
Or monkey energy, pretty much.
It was really funny in my head. Don't worry.
But yeah, the pacing of this show, it's the thing that people keep complaining about. Honestly, I can't.
It's just a massive tournament arc. That's all it is. It's just.
But it's not. Like, I wish we got like introductions to the characters a little bit for a couple episodes, and then the tournament started.
Yeah, I wish it was more so, and the fights could be a bit more of a back and forth.
Like you said, Faye, where it gives us like some backstory to each of the. I think that would have helped massively.
Yeah, Vent, at the very start, like the very first chapter, it just goes to like each of their high schools and shows like them like why they're the top of the high school, and like them meeting with each of the commissioners, just like them being like scouted, I guess, and it gives them like a little bit more backstory. It goes a lot more into like Dewi. Well, not really much more into Dewi, but like it kind of sets them all up much better than what this has done.
No, we only got to see in the Maury kept saying like I want to fight them. Pretty sure that's all we saw.
Yeah, that was like shown in the manga.
Yeah.
It was just it was more shown in that. Like there was a flashback, I guess, in the anime a bit, but it was like he tried to fight the commissioner straight away, and like it was really it was funny. It was a good start, but I don't.
Yeah.
I guess they just.
I think. I read like the first couple manual chapters, and I think it was a good idea to start immediately into the bike scene and like the preliminary of the preliminaries, but I think they should have gone back and showed those scenes after.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the bike scene and stuff that works better as the start of an anime, but I still think they should have shown like those introductory stuff after as a free aspect.
We can all agree that the OP saves it already. It saves the end.
Oh yeah, the OP is good.
OP. But yeah, I think if I could make one change, what other change other than the ones we were there before, I would just completely cut the wedding episode. I don't think it had any purpose.
Faye, didn't you say it was better in the manual?
That seems to be the top. The was it the slogan of this?
It's just because the first episode actually reinforces why something like this, like why she would actually do this. It reinforces a lot better than like what I know the anime kind of went to flashbacks, but her like introduction showed a lot more why she would do something like this, like actually do this marriage to try and save it, than just like throwing you in and saying, oh, she's just getting married to this guy for absolutely pretty much no reason. And the only kind of thing you were shown was that she was kind of talking to these muscular guys at the start. That's kind of it. It's one thing I would change is they should have picked a better webtoon to adapt. That's the biggest change.
Oh, really?
Oh wow! Oh, the stage.
If you could pick one webtoon to be adapted, what?
Let me think. Purple Hyacinth's really good, but it's not very anime. It's kind of like it's like a Victorian London kind of detective kind of manhwa.
I mean, there are some shows like that before. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's like French Victorian London kind of manhwa where they're trying to stop, like it's pretty much a town run by assassins, and there's a massive assassins corporation running the place as well, but the police are trying to stop them after they've done a massacre about 10 years earlier. Then the main character is very good, and she teams up with an assassin to try and bring it all down. And that's so it's really good. It's only started, but it's very, very good. And there's I know one that's probably going to get an adaptation just because it's one of the massive ones and it's very anime. And a lot of YouTubers have been talking about it as well. It's called Let's Play.
Oh, I think I've heard of that.
It's pretty much about a.
Do you want to talk about it here, or
we'll talk about this outside, I guess.
Well, I guess that's our first episode done.
Yeah.
Good job, guys.
So,
good work.
Thank you for joining me. We will see you all next week, where we will be discussing this week's anime. If there are any changes you think we should make, let us know in the comments down below. And make sure to smash like and subscribe. And I can't believe saying that unironically. But yeah, it would actually help. So see you.
Please make more Echidna
Don't do that.
Peace.
Goodbye.
No, don't never do that. Bye.